My experience in the workshop so far has been a very fantastic one.
My experience has been amazing. I have really enjoyed my time here at the workshop.
The workshop is very interesting.
It's been very fun. It's been enlightening.
It's been quite critical for me.
Getting to meet a lot of other researchers interested in political violence and conflict.
I've been able to meet with great intellectuals in the field of global terrorism. So I've enjoyed my time so far.
I've also had an opportunity to meet like minds and also to network with my peers as well.
I've got to network with females across my field, across different universities, across the Federation.
I can say this is a lifetime opportunity for young researchers to come and learn the various methods of conducting research, leveraging on the data.
The workshop has really widened my expectations for my career trajectory. It's shown me what's possible.
For the very first time, I'm learning how to use datasets, how to extract data that I've gotten from the ACLED site with Excel, and how to translate that into visualization, which helps to make presentation for me way easier. So it's been very important for me.
I'm presently working on women in violent extremism in Nigeria, and I've been able to have the opportunity to learn how to use the ACLED database, then to download data from the ACLED database and to be able to analyze this data to answer my research work objectives and questions.
It's going to help me understand how to approach critical issues when it comes to political violence.
This workshop is very important to my career in the sense that I'm more in the humanities field, and when you talk about conflict and anything related to conflict, either resolution or policy, humans are at the core of conflict resolution.
It delves into the important role of data in providing evidence-driven approaches to research. Coming from a rural and volatile community of northwest Nigeria, where we are facing banditry, terrorism and other organized crime, this is a lifetime opportunity for me to continue conducting my research.
As a conflict scholar, particularly focusing on election violence, I work with a lot of data. So coming here and learning how to conceptually apply the data on political violence in Nigeria is very useful to me, to my work as a PhD candidate at the University of Amsterdam, researching subnational variation of election violence.
The workshop has opened my eyes to seeing the importance of data to conflict analysis. And as a researcher in a research fellow at the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, it has equipped me, in utilizing data, understanding data to address political violence and peace and insecurity in Nigeria.
So for example, I'm a journalist. I'm always come across with the data concerning attacks, trauma, and so other aspects of conflict. So this is a lifetime opportunity for me as a researcher, journalist, and also academic.
Also for my networking as well, because I've been able to meet other scholars working on political conflict, and I've also been able to make valuable connections.
I found this experience to be very impactful for my research in humanities and human rights.
Locations that see attacks, has that changed? So are they going to these places? Or are they repeating the same place which they
We can use peace and conflict research in policy making to be able to pick out significant issues that affect people.
I think data-driven policies on peace and conflict plays a significant role in propelling policies that address the root causes of these problems.
One of the challenges Nigeria faces when it comes to policy making is getting the actual data. What I've seen here is that you have to use data that are actually from the original source based on how these events happened originally to, influence policy making.
Peace and conflict research and data for policy making is important in the sense that it allows policymakers better understand what works to resolve violent conflicts.
What we're used to is writing papers, and sometimes these papers do not go beyond the classroom or the academic environment. So what this is doing, and what we want to achieve, is to impact the nation and actually the people who conflict have affected, to make sure that papers that were written are translated into policies that actually have impact on the layman.
This and conflict research for policy making, we can use it to the extent that the policy makers are willing to acknowledge that the research that we do is relevant.
I would say that conflict is not generic. Conflict is not, there's no general sense of conflict. There are different reasons why conflict starts, and understanding the key root causes and the people, the dynamics of society would help in resolving any conflicting issue. So that's why I think it's very important.
And for example, my area, which are focused on election violence, we can use that research to address issues or concerning the elections when it comes to violence, when it comes to electoral fraud. We can look at the data, observe the patterns, and know the areas that we need to focus on.
So this is a limited, or let me say this is a kind of angle that has limited attention or little focus from the policy makers because there are no data to leverage on. So looking at this kind of opportunity, it will give us an ample opportunity to understand the scenarios and also come up with a data that will speak to the policy. So it will help the policy makers when they want to come up with a policy recommendation concerning a particular conflict or organized crime in my region.
My key takeaways are the importance of having good networks, deep networks, and I guess understanding how important the data is to the work that we do.
Okay, so my key takeaways from this event would be the access to the ACLED datasets, how to use visualization, how to translate my work from being just an academic piece into a policy paper, and also how to use OPED, which was an interesting little bit that got added yesterday, how to write an OPED piece different from academic piece.
I've been able to know how to use the ACLED database effectively to analyze my research questions.
The important way of utilizing data and evidence in informing research as well as policy formulation, and in also translating research in such a way that is accessible to policymakers by simplifying data and making it presentable and accessible to them.
I can be able to download data from the ACLED database and to be able to use it for my research.
My key takeaway is that data is important and data is the life of research. And another takeaway that I have is that people are also important, because without people working with the data, we can't make sense of what the data is actually saying.
I learned how to use data, data to speak the findings of the research.
I have a lot of key takeaways from this workshop. First, networking. Second, I've learned new skills to actually apply on the field. I've also learned how to strategically disseminate data gotten from like conflict organizations that actually collect data on conflict.
And I mingle with so many young, powerful researchers where I learned different approaches on how to use data and also how to conduct research, especially in an armed conflict community.
Several key takeaways from this workshop is the fact that I have gotten to understand the importance of data and research and translating it to policy making. And it's one thing to have the data, and it's another thing to make use of it. And we have to see that the data is actually going to address gaps in addressing political violence and insecurity in Nigeria.
It's been awesome.
Fantastic.
Great.
Do it again.
Enlightening.
Excellent.
Extremely awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic.